And I think that when he brought that question to her, I think it was more so like questions that outsiders or the viewers or the audience would be asking, like, oh, because we've kind of been conditioned because of APAC and the propaganda, and now realizing that a lot of the propaganda, they were basically saying they want to shut down any conversation of the focus going back to them and what they're doing. When you bring up certain things like what she was saying APAC has too much control in our government is not anti-Semitic.
So here's a thought, just a thought. We knew at least 9 months prior to November that APAC sent the threat to Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman, two really strong, great elected officials. Jamal Bowman came from a very humble background. He's a school teacher. Those two should still be in the thrust of our political machinery, the electoral political process. And when word came out from APEC that they were not going to be there any longer, we didn't do anything. We sat on the sideline and watched two really good elected officials just lose their election. $8 to $10 million for a House seat. That's what APAC paid for each one of those two seats to chase them out, and we did nothing. We sat on the sideline. Their peers on Capitol Hill did nothing, and the public did nothing. We sent no letters. We didn't do any kind of petitions. We didn't come back and say, "Don't you touch them? Dare you to touch them? You better not touch them." But the other piece of it is, we keep saying we can't do anything. Here's a thought, and every time I say it, people look at me as if I'm crazy. Here's a thought. There are about 47 million of us in the diaspora. What if each one of us every month pledged $10? Just $10. All 47 million of us. Couldn't we have a super PAC of our own?
Mm.
And wouldn't we be able to fight back? And wouldn't we be able to run good candidates for those seats? Because those two people that APAC found, I don't know anything about them. I gotta do some research on them. But just from physical appearances, they just look like, oh, I'm so glad to be here. I'm not gonna rock any boats.
Mm.
And we
Yeah.
need people who rock the boats. We need to boot Hakeem Jeffries. He need to be gone. We just need to take a size 12 boot and just boot him out of there. And get some people who think differently. I just can't imagine a dude. I'm telling you, if he was my husband, his stuff would be sitting outside the door.
Now, I want to pose this question to you because Don Lemon actually asked this question a few days ago to his audience. Considering everything we're witnessing with this incompetent regime, you remember Al Franken? Remember what the Democrats did to Al Franken? That was
top of my head.
Gillibrand. Okay, Al Franken during the height of the Me Too movement, he was in Congress and he was an ex-comedian from SNL. But he was actually a really good politician, which I was a shock because I remember seeing him as a teenager on SNL. And he was just, goofy, and a lot of the humor on there I just didn't like. But he was a really good, and he pushed back. He was kind of like Sheldon Whitehouse and Katie Porter and Jasmine Crockett all wrapped into one. That's who Al Franken was. Now, he got wrapped up in the Me Too movement where supposedly they were trying to, now that I think about it, it was probably had to do with APAC, but all of a sudden he was getting too much traction and biting back and pushing back against the Republicans. They brought up something he did in the past, which was a photo, and it was in poor humor. It's a mixed conversation around that, but like he had his hands over a woman or something. So basically, they were accusing him of sexual harassment, and then they were trying to get more women out to accuse him of SA. So that's how they got him out of there. And then who led the charge was Gillibrand from New York and several other high-profile Democrats. They rallied to get him out of there, and he was a Democrat. So, what would you think? I mean, considering what we're seeing now, like I said, with this, it's just kind of, I don't know. Anyway, he posed the question: should we bring Al Franken back because he was a fighter under the circumstances? Because people like Hakeem Jeffries are not fighting for us.
Was Al Franken a senator? You talking about
Yes,
Gillibrand?
yes.
Well, now who we gonna replace? Gillibrand ain't going nowhere, and Schumer ain't going nowhere unless he's chasing out them glasses sitting on his nose. I think that we need to do better.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you vote for Hakeem Jeffries. Maybe he's been there too long. Who knows? Maybe he's very comfortable. Maybe I know that he and James Clyburn, I don't know about now, but they used to be really tight. So and James Clyburn, I can't tell you of anything he's done where he stood up and did, fight the power. And he surely didn't do fight the power with HR 40 for reparations commission.
Right.
And we begged. So maybe his instructions come from people like James Clyburn. Man, don't be getting up there, playing crazy, talking about burn, baby, burn. You got to stand there and be like subservient, because that's exactly what it was. That brother was as subservient as he could ever hope to possibly want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was unacceptable. That was just
to bring back Al Franken, we got some people. Dan Goodman from New York, he's the one who was in the confirmation hearings. It wasn't a confirmation hearing. He was on the floor and he asked the question. He said something about this reminds him of the Banana Republic basket of shit or something. I gotta find that. But that brother was, I was like, I'm in love with him. I mean, him and Jasmine Crockett. I'd like to see both of them terrorize some people.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. The young man with the curly kind of. Yeah, I think I saw that. It was what's his name?
Dan Goldman.
Okay, yeah. Dan Goldman here.
Like G.O. Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
Goodman.
Okay, Goodman. Yeah, I pulled up Dan Wait a minute. I pulled up Dan Goodman, and they showed me John Goodman.
No. They showed you what?
John Goodman, which is the dad on Roseanne.
Oh, that man right there. No, that's Dan. It's not John. It's Dan.
Yeah, I typed in Dan, and they pulled up John Goodman.
I had to search. They didn't want me to find it. They did not want me to
Well, we know about Google now since they've kowtowed to Trump and changing the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, it's the Gulf of Mexico. So on that, we're going to end for now. I want to play this quick clip. Don't forget to thumbs up, share, comment, leave your voicemail, questions, statements.
I'm sorry. It is Goldman. It's
Goldman. Okay, we'll pull that up on the next one. But don't forget to, if you're able to donate, that helps us keep the lights on our hosting platforms, so we could keep coming to you with deep topics. But I want to play this video of this politician here, and he is in. Let me see, where is he? He is.
So in the meantime, we want to do some political satire.
Right.
And we're looking for some ideas for political satire, whichever way you want to pronounce it, because we want to grow our podcast both by followers and financially. But we want to have some fun. So send us your ideas on what you would like us to do when it comes to the current climate. It can be about 47. It can be about 47.1. It can be about 47.2 or anyone else. Send us your ideas.
And we'll appreciate that. And also, I've decided to add occasional bonus videos at the end of the podcast. So for the whole season, I'm going to be doing that at random. And at the end of the podcast, like after you see the like, subscribe, share outro, there's going to be a bonus video at the end of the podcast that's going to be funny or, something uplifting. And I want to leave a comment. If you watch our whole podcast, leave a comment and let us know what you think of the bonus video. And then, like Ms. Kenna said, give us some other ideas of what you would like for us to talk about, and we will try to do that for you guys. But I want to play this. It's really, really short, so I might play it twice because it's like 18 seconds. But he gets to the point of what we were talking about earlier with this emperor that has no clothes, and we're not bowing down to him.
My oath is to the Constitution of our state and of our country. We don't have kings in America, and I don't intend to bend the knee to one. My oath is to the Constitution of our state and of our country. We don't have kings in America, and I don't.
So I have to say something. While I appreciate what he said, 47 is fast tracking doing away with the Constitution. So either it's going to be constitutional governance or it's going to be presidential privilege and immunity. And 47 is rapidly moving in the direction of presidential privilege and immunity. So he might not have to worry about getting on his knees for anybody anyway, because I don't know that that's going to be around. The Constitution ain't going to be around much longer. Sorry to say. So maybe the next time we can chop it up, because I want to go back to the person from Australia.
Right? Yeah, the prime minister. That prime minister.
that gets 5 thumbs up, 5 fingers up, hands up, snap, the whole 9 yards. He nailed it. He literally nailed it.
Now, the prime minister that she's speaking of, you guys could go back to our first episode and that video of the prime minister, play that podcast, and he's speaking at the beginning of the podcast. So if you want to know which prime minister she's talking about and his message and what he was talking about, and go back and listen to, I think it's episode 1 or episode 2 of this season. It's episode 1. So you guys let us know what you think, and we will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Peace.